Hi, my name is Heather, and today I'm going to talk to you about publishing your children's book on KDP versus IngramSpark. I've published on both KDP and IngramSpark, and I find that they're both good platforms for specific uses, and there's pros and cons to each, as with everything in life. So I'm going to talk to you about my experience and what I thought the pros and cons were in publishing on each platform. One of the great things about KDP is that it's very easy to use. If you're not super tech savvy, then it's probably the way to go for you. Also, if it's your first time publishing a book, then that's a great use case for using KDP. When you upload your book, it gives you a nice preview where you can see your spreads next to each other, so you'll know if anything doesn't line up properly, and it'll give you some really good errors for if your margins are messed up, certain pages that might have text near the edge, stuff like that. This is all very useful for your first time publishing, and if you're not super familiar with like the file formatting, then you'll know before you get your printed book whether you made a mistake or not. Also, with KDP, there is a higher profit margin. When you publish through IngramSpark, IngramSpark is actually just printing the book and distributing it, but people aren't going to be able to buy it directly from IngramSpark. So from IngramSpark, it's going to get pushed to Amazon, and then it's going to get sold there. So as you can see, there's 3 people in this process that need to get paid, which is IngramSpark, Amazon, and you. Whereas when you publish on KDP, it's just you and Amazon. So as you can see, it's going to be a bigger profit margin when you post on KDP versus using IngramSpark. Another positive to using KDP is it's a much quicker turnaround time when someone orders the book. Because it works hand in hand with Amazon Prime, you can order your print book and get it in a couple days and see what it looks like. Another good thing about publishing on KDP is that you're able to add extra images to your listing through A+ content. So rather than just have like the cover of the book and the back of the book and maybe some images from inside the book from the look inside the book feature, if the customers scroll down, you can actually have extra text and extra images in the from the publisher section. And that is really nice because people really need to see more of your book and they need to be marketed your book. They're not just going to look at the cover and say, okay, I'm going to buy that book. I mean, it's possible, but it's not super likely. Whereas if they can see a lot of the inside pages, if you can show them the value of the book, then they're more likely to buy it for their child or for another kid. Some of the cons, though, one is inconsistent quality. I have had quite a few books that I've gotten from Amazon that were KDP books and have just had really poor print quality. There was actually one book that I ordered that my friend illustrated, The Shy Little Cloud Finds New Friends, and that had some horizontal banding on the pages. So then I went through the Amazon return process and I asked for a replacement. So they sent me a replacement, and then that one had some weird printing along the top. So I still haven't gotten a good quality print of this book. Also, there are a lot of people, and some that I know, that have gotten multiple books, and some of them have bright colors and some of them have darker colors. Or like some of the blues look more blue and some look more teal, like they have a little bit of yellow in them. So the colors are not consistent across print jobs because Amazon has multiple print companies printing the books and they might print at different qualities or at different settings. Another downside is that hardcover books need to be 75 pages. So if you're publishing your children's book through Amazon KDP, you either have to have 75 pages in your book or just don't make a hardcover. You just have to have a softcover book. These are the pros and cons that I've found with Amazon KDP, but it all depends on what your priorities are. If you're a beginner, if you don't care too much about the quality of it, like maybe it's a coloring book so it's black and white and the colors don't matter as much, There's certain reasons that you would want to use Amazon KDP. You just have to look at these pros and cons and kind of weigh it for yourself. Now let's talk about IngramSpark. IngramSpark, I have found, has consistent, great quality. The consistency is very important. When I get a book from IngramSpark and I see what the colors look like, that's how it's going to look in all the books I get from them. That's what I have found to be true in my ordering. All of my books look the same, whether I order them now or a month from now, whether they're a separate person ordering them off of Amazon that IngramSpark distributed to, or whether I'm ordering author copies. They all look exactly the same and they're the same quality. Another great thing about IngramSpark is that hardcover books only need to be 18 pages. So if you have a children's book that is only 18 pages or more, then you can create a hardcover book on IngramSpark. Another great benefit to publishing on IngramSpark is that you can design the inside of your cover, which is super exciting. I was really excited to design the inside of mine. You can put a pattern there, or you can put a solid color there, whatever you want. And it just makes it so much more fun. You can really be creative with it. Some of the downsides to using IngramSpark is that it's not quite as user-friendly as Amazon KDP. Sometimes I get some errors with the color profiles, and then I have to go and edit those things in Photoshop. Also, when you get your preview, you don't get to see the 2 pages side by side for a spread, so you really have to know what you're doing with the spreads. Those are just a couple of things that I've noticed. So I do think you need to be a little more tech savvy to be able to deal with publishing on IngramSpark. Another con is that there is a lower profit margin than KDP. As I mentioned before with IngramSpark, they are distributing to Amazon for people to buy on Amazon. So the price is going to be cut 3 ways instead of just 2, instead of just Amazon and you. So you are going to make less per book. Another downside to IngramSpark is that there's a longer shipping time for the orders. With IngramSpark, they don't get it out in like 2 days like Amazon does for Amazon Prime. They still take like a week or so to print the book. So it's definitely going to take quite a bit longer than books that are ordered on Amazon Prime. Another downside to using IngramSpark is that you can't add extra images to your listing the way that you can with KDP. I tried adding A+ content in my Amazon bookshelf, but Amazon wouldn't recognize that book as mine for some reason, even though it shows up on my author page. And then I also tried editing the About the Publisher section. So when you're in IngramSpark, there is a part where you can add text and you can even add HTML. So I tried adding HTML tags with images, but then when that got pushed to Amazon, those tags got stripped out. So unfortunately, I couldn't find a way to add extra images to the listing. So that said, again, there are pros and cons to IngramSpark, and there's pros and cons to KDP. I think IngramSpark is really good if quality is very, very important to you. If you have your heart set on doing a hardcover book for your children's book and it's not 75 pages. There are some people who publish to both, and I do think that's a great option. But one thing that you have to consider is that if you want to publish to both, you need your own ISBN, and that can be very expensive. They cost less if you buy them in bulk, but you really have to buy a lot in order to get a good discount. If you're using an ISBN from Amazon KDP or IngramSpark, then you're not allowed to publish onto the other platform. It's only for that platform. That's all for my pros and cons on publishing on Amazon KDP versus IngramSpark. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, or as always, you can email me at heather@heathercash.com. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so I know to make more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!